Hello everybody, my name is Davis and welcome back to another video, and today we are here for another severe weather breakdown. On Saturday, we're expecting a large and potentially significant severe weather / tornado outbreak to take place. In this video, we're going to be breaking down everywhere that you need to be concerned about, what you need to be concerned about, and more. So if you're excited for this video, make sure to click that like and subscribe button down below, and let's go ahead and get right into this severe weather forecast, starting off by taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for the next couple of days. Now, for the rest of the night, we do have a 2% tornado probability in place across sections of northwestern Kansas and southwestern Nebraska. This is from a dying complex of QLCS thunderstorms that is likely not going to produce a tornado. If it does, it would be a brief spin-up, but make sure that you do have a tornado action plan in place in that green shaded area just in case. This does include the North Platte area, areas just off to the north of Goodland, Kansas, and surrounding regions. Now, as we go into tomorrow, we do have another marginal risk of severe weather extending all the way from portions of Oklahoma back into the Missouri-Iowa border, and this is mainly going to be driven by a damaging wind and large hail threat, especially that damaging wind threat. I would not be shocked to see a 15% upgrade by tomorrow morning. If we take a look at the tornado probabilities, you'll notice that they are less than 2% for all areas as of right now, but I also wouldn't be shocked to see a minor upgrade into tomorrow morning, potentially for a brief QLCS tornado spin-up somewhere out in the eastern Oklahoma, western Missouri, western Arkansas vicinity. Now, as we go into Saturday, this is the big day. This is the day that we've been forecasting for nearly a week now. This is currently at a 2 out of 5 slight risk of severe weather extending from extreme southern Illinois back into far northeastern Texas. This slight risk of severe weather has changed its position so many times since it got put into place. Originally, it was back into portions of the Ohio River Valley and mainly focused upon the Midwest, and it slowly but surely made its way further southwest, and is now at the point where the greatest threat for this severe weather event looks to be somewhere around the Little Rock metro area, and we're going to talk about that more a little bit later. But before we do, it is important to note that this is not going to be your typical severe weather event in October. Usually whenever we're talking about severe weather events this time of year, they're in Dixie Alley, and they're usually during the evening time hours while we still have quite a bit of instability out. But during this event, we're going to have instability throughout these regions all throughout the day. This is 7 a.m. on Saturday. We're watching some thunder showers begin to convect across portions of central Oklahoma, eventually developing into a small QLCS across the Oklahoma-Arkansas state line by 11 a.m., but these thunderstorms last well into the evening time hours. By 3 p.m., we're watching this large QLCS move through portions of central Arkansas, but also back through southeastern Missouri and southern Illinois. Then it continued to push further off to the east. By 7 p.m., still likely some damaging wind gusts and potentially a brief QLCS spin-up tornado or two across much of northern Louisiana and southeastern Arkansas. Now, as these thunderstorms continue to move off to the east, they'll likely look about the same, but as of right now, this is as far out as the HRRR model can run. Now, it is important to note that the HRRR models does not have a super volatile environment for this event as of right now. The most recent run has suggested very low SRH content, sitting at just about 100 meters squared per second squared. Instability is decent, lower level instability is very good, wind shear's okay. If something like this were to happen, we would not be looking at a tornado outbreak potential. We may even not see a couple of tornadoes. This would be a very low-end setup for a tornado and even a severe weather threat in general, especially with those moderate to kind of low lapse rates. Again, it's really going to limit that potential for upscale growth in thunderstorms. And again, this is expected to be a linear mode according to the HRRR. So the HRRR run here is kind of a best-case scenario. Very little tornado threat, very low-end damaging wind threat even, and in general, not much of a severe weather potential. Now, this sounding in particular is taken from far northeastern Oklahoma at 23Z, where the event is going to peak according to the HRRR, but the NAM has a bit of a different perspective. So here's 7 a.m. on Saturday on the NAM. Once again, thunder showers and thunderstorms convecting across far northern Oklahoma. By 11 a.m., we begin to watch a small QLCS line of thunderstorms develop across the Quad State region of Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Arkansas. By 4 p.m., we are going to be watching for that threat of a couple of discrete supercells back into central and eastern Oklahoma that may have the potential to produce a brief tornado or two. And by 8 p.m., this turns into one of the largest QLCS events of the year by size, extending all the way from portions of northeastern Indiana back into far southern Texas. Now, is this all going to be one massive line of thunderstorms? No, obviously not. The NAM just likes to paint pictures like this left, right, and center. But it is worth noting that this is kind of indicating here that we do have the widespread potential for severe thunderstorms if the NAM gets it right with the environment. It still has this line of thunderstorms moving through southern Arkansas and northern Louisiana by 1 a.m. Again, this is going to be a late night event through even the early morning time hours of tomorrow for western Dixie Alley. So we're going to see how things play out. Now, obviously, the more volatile storm mode comes with the NAM model, and the more volatile environment definitely comes with the NAM 3-kilometer model as well. Now, it has taken a very, very small, barely even noticeable downtrend from yesterday, but that isn't saying a whole heck of a lot, because yesterday this environment looked pretty extreme, and it still does. We've got over 100 CAPE within the first 3 kilometers of the atmosphere, nearly 3,000 CAPE at the surface layer. SRH content is the main thing that has downtrended since yesterday, forecasting at about 300 SRH rather than 400, sitting at about 60 knots of wind shear and decent lapse rates. Overall, a very impressive environment. Again, you'll notice the possible hazard type at PDS Tour. Typically, we don't like to look at that too specifically and take that with a grain of salt because it is sometimes fairly inaccurate. But it is worth noting that it does indicate that we may have the potential for a brief, strong tornado out here in this environment. Now, this is taken from 21Z, so a little bit earlier, across the same area, northeastern Oklahoma, again, right north of the Tulsa metro area. Now, as we go back to the Storm Prediction Center outlook, you'll notice that that is actually outside of our slight risk of severe weather, and that is because we're expecting the storm mode to be mainly linear at that point. We're not really expecting too much discrete activity across northeast Oklahoma, so the tornado threat will be limited due to that fact. Now, is it possible that we see a QLCS tornado through the North Tulsa metro area? Certainly. Is it possible that we see a very, brief supercell develop somewhere in northeastern Oklahoma? Absolutely, and that could have the potential to produce a brief, strong tornado. So again, would not be shocked to see this slight risk get pushed a little bit further off to the southwest, but as of right now, it sits where it sits. Again, it's kind of changed over the past several days quite a bit. Originally on day 6, this was an Ohio Valley thing, and now it's a lower Mississippi Valley thing. Very interesting to watch this slight risk progress. Now, before we end off this video, I do want to quickly take a look at our watches, warnings, and advisories across the country. Freeze warnings going out for a good chunk of northern Appalachia and the eastern sections of the Ohio River Valley. Frost advisories outside of that, they're in the light blue boxes, but other than that, pretty calm right now. So thank you all for watching this video, and thank you especially to all of our members. You guys are what help keep this channel running. If you do want to become a member, make sure to do so by clicking the link down in the description. You'll get access to exclusive content, early access to certain videos, custom shoutouts at the end of every forecast, stickers to use in chat, and more. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.